Hey everybody, it's Rachel. Thank you for being so patient with all the craziness that has been happening with our Tech Tuesdays. They're just not working out so far exactly the way that I want them to, but it's going to get better. So thank you for joining me for our first Canva Tech Tuesday or Thursday for our first session. And thanks again for the patience with the issues I'm having with my WebEx. I'm going to have that figured out. For some reason, it's not letting me share my screen. Hopefully we'll get that figured out by our next session. I should be able to share everything just as easily with you though through a screen recording. So I'm going to try to not talk super fast, but I do have a lot of things to hit. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This first session is really just a simple getting started tour overview of Canva. So for some of you who have used Canva already a good bit, some of this might be very much a reminder, but hopefully there will be a few little things maybe that are stuck in there that are new to you. I also for sure won't be able to touch on absolutely everything because there's just so much to talk about with Canva. You can do so much with it. So I really could probably make 6 3-hour sessions instead of 6 20-minute sessions. That's why I'm going to have to talk really fast and try to just hit what I think are some of the biggest things. But please do reach out, ask me questions, ask me to come help out. If there is anything that you're struggling with or that you're wanting to try and you just need a little more assistance with after the session. And then since this week has been such a crazy week, I will make sure that everyone is awarded a credit for one session for this one. So I'm trusting you guys that you're going to be able to find time to watch the video. So, all right, that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully you saw this bit.ly link. I would save that, bit.ly/CanvaTechTues. I would maybe favorite that so that you can get back to it really easily. Each session, I'm going to add in a cheat sheet to this presentation. It's going to have, after I've completed it, you'll be able to access the recording from today here, and then also a reminder of what all we went over, some links to a few particular things that I thought were especially helpful to link, and then also you'll have some timestamp references here so you'll know at what point in the video I went over those different aspects of Canva. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, there are a few different ways that you can log in. If you have not noticed, recently the Canva for Education app has been added to Clever. So that is one way that US teachers can log in. It looks like this, Canva for Education. Now, right now, Mr. Payon is still working on getting this app fully rostered. I think that all of our teachers should be able to access it and be easily signed right into their education account. Right now, I don't think that it's working correctly for students. So we'll talk about some other ways to connect your students in the next video. But hopefully eventually our students will be able to just sign in through this too, and we'll make it a lot easier. But you can also sign into Canva other ways. And if you did previously use Canva in another way or accessed it a different way, and you've been noticing some wonky stuff, it could be that you need to come to Clever and click this Canva for Education application one time. So if you're noticing odd things happening with your account, try clicking that and see if that fixes it now that we have rostering set up. Another way that you can log in is just by visiting Canva. Just Googling Canva, go to the actual Canva website, and then you can just choose to sign in and choose the Google option. We have single sign-on set up through Google, so you should also be able to sign in that way. And hopefully signing in either of those ways is going to take you to your Canva dashboard and automatically assign you that education status. Now, you'll be able to tell if you're signed in under the education version of Canva by looking under your team name and seeing if it says education, or it now may say Madison City Schools now that we have rostering established for Madison City. Either one of those should be giving you all of the free education benefits. If you've signed in one of those two ways and you're still not seeing education show up under your name, then I have linked in the help guide a link right here that will take you to the website that you can use to get verified as a teacher. So on this site, you just click Get Verified and use your Madison City email to verify your status as a teacher, and it will give you all of the free, the pro features of Canva for free under that education version. Let's look a little bit at the Canva dashboard and talk about kind of what that dashboard looks like. I'm going to do a quick overview. So you can see my menu over here. Now, I recently clicked the glow up option on Canva, so my setup might be just slightly different. It's one thing I don't love about Canva is they are constantly changing things. Not always for the better, I don't think, but the way my dashboard's organized, it may look a bit different than yours. So some of the things that you see along the side may be along the top for you. This might be over on the right side if you haven't clicked that glow up button yet. But you should have all the same elements there for the most part. So right now I'm on my home page. That's where it's going to kind of just show me all my recent designs and things that I've been working on. If I go to projects, I'm going to see projects I've recently worked on. I can also choose in the projects page to kind of toggle between things that just I own or things that have been shared with me from other people. Can also go between different categories like videos or presentations, or can search, by the date that something was modified. I can also choose to kind of sort my projects whatever way I'd like to sort them, whether it's by newest or alphabetical order, however I want to do that. Templates is where you're going to start probably most of the time when you're getting ready to start a new project. It's where you can look in all those different template options that Canva has for you, and get started with a new design. We'll come back to that one in a minute. We'll also come back to brand kits in just a second, but that is something that you can create for yourself if you'd like. I don't use that option, but I'll come back to it in a sec. You can also view all the different apps available in Canva here, but I think it's a little more beneficial to access the apps when you're actually inside of a design. So I'm going to show that there instead of focusing on it here. If you do have a class set up in Canva, you'll be able to see any classwork that you have assigned that students have turned in that classwork tab. Now over here, yours could be over here if you still have kind of an old setup of Canva, but you should be able to find a place where you can see your different teams. When I do this drop down, I can see all the different teams that I belong to. I can also invite members to my team from here. Another place I can go to work with the people on my team or to set up who has access is the settings. So if I click that settings bar, I can invite people here. I can also set up groups if I want just groups of people that I can share particular designs with, but I don't necessarily want these people to see absolutely everything in this particular team. I could set up some groups. I can also go to billing and plans, which is a strange place for this to live, and I can create a new team from the billing and plans option. Okay, let's go back over to that brand template for a minute. And let me say too, a lot of what I'm talking about today too is really just from your perspective of you using Canva as a teacher, either for yourself just to create things that are helping you to stay organized or to use with your class, or for presentations and things that you're going to use for teaching. I'm not spending a lot of time in this video talking about things for your students, how to connect your students, how to share assignments with them. We're going to talk more about that in the next video. This one's really an overview just for you to get comfortable with how you can use Canva for you. Okay, so I'm going to go into brand for a second. I don't have this set up, but it might be something you're interested in. So I clicked in that set up your brand. Basically what your brand kit is if you know that you like to use similar colors or fonts or whatever very often, you can kind of set up a kit for you where you can always go and find those elements that you like to use. You can upload a logo and it will kind of pull all the fonts and designs from that. For example, like maybe you want to have a brand kit for your school. So if you want to upload your school's logo, that would be a great place to start for that. You can add in your own colors. You can choose fonts that you want to have available for you, and then it goes, even past that. So I don't have a brand kit set up, but that is something that you can set up if you like, and I'll show you how it will show up in a design when you're creating a design. All right, so let's go into templates, which is where you'll probably spend a lot of your time. So you can create so many things in Canva. They have template options for so many different types of documents. I think probably as teachers, ones that we tend to use a lot are like the presentations, the posters. You can search newsletters, is another great option for teachers to utilize Canva. You can use it for infographics, greeting cards, videos. There's just tons and tons of options there. I'm in a second. I'm going to choose a template and go into it just to kind of show you everything that you can do inside the design studio. But I did want to show you really quickly a couple of new template options that I think could be really beneficial for teaching that I did not really realize Canva was offering until recently. So you can choose a template you're going to work with from just that template page like this by browsing the page, maybe using the search box to search a particular topic or focus or something that you're looking for. Or you can just go to create a design over here, and that's going to give you the option to choose to just create a blank template, or you can even search through template options in this box too when you're ready to create a new design. So I wanted to show you whiteboards is one of the newer things that Canva has for you to use. If you really enjoyed using Jamboards or used to use Linoit or something like that, whiteboards is pretty awesome as far as kind of brainstorming if you're wanting something collaborative for your students to utilize. I'm going to put this 5 senses design on here just so you can kind of see an example of how you might use it. So they already have some pre-made stickies on here that students could type into and then put in different places on the board. I'm going to show you a shortcut a little bit later for how you can teach students to create their own stickies. But what's cool about the whiteboard is unlike, a presentation or a poster, which is limited in space, the whiteboard space is much less limited. You can, it can span out. So you could, put some prompts on here or just leave it blank, and then students could add their own text or stickies or whatever to kind of share or respond to something that you've posed for them. Another cool new template they have is websites. You can now create a website on Canva, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to pull up one really quick as an example. So, like here's a portfolio website template. The way that they have their site set up are they're set up in pages. So you build out the pages of your site, and then when you are finished, you publish your site. You click publish, and then it's going to prepare and create your site for you. I think that's a great option for you as a teacher. That's also a great one really for students. So I guess I did kind of go ahead and give a student possibility there. All right, so there is what that finished website looks like. Very professional, very easy to access way to create a very nice looking website. For us today, I am going to go into a presentation, I think. So I could click create a design and click presentation and start a blank one that way if I wanted to. Or I think what I'm going to do, I played around a little with this one earlier, and it's a pretty good one as an example. So I'm going to go into that one. So let's talk about all the different things you have to use inside the Canva Design Studio now that I'm inside a presentation. So just quick overview of the studio. You've got your menu over here. I'll go through these menu options in just a second. Down here at the bottom is where you can add your presenter notes that would appear when your presentation is in view setting. You can set duration if you want to be able to see how long the slides are set to. If you're going to run your presentation and let it run, you can actually go in and change the timing of the slides. You've got a timer that you can pull up if that's useful to you. You can also pull up a timer in presentation mode, which I think is probably even more useful, and I'll show it again then. Down here is your slider that you can use to zoom in or out so that you can really see what you're working on. And then these are just how you change your views if you wanted to go into a scroll view or a grid view. And then we'll talk more about these options up here in just a moment when we get to sharing. I will go ahead and show this one. This little comment bubble is going to allow you to add a comment. And so if you are sharing your presentation with someone else, you can collaborate together, kind of like in Google too. You can even use that @ symbol to address the comment to different people so that they'll get an email that you ask them a question. They can come back and take a look at that comment and respond to it. And then up here, you've got obviously your undo and redo. And then right now we're in editing mode. This is where we can change from commenting to viewing. And then you do have this resize option over here if you decide you want to resize your presentation. However, I would not suggest resizing after you've done a lot of work. It's really hard, in my opinion, or from my experience, to get things back the way you want them if you choose to resize things after you've already done a lot of work in your presentation. Okay, so the menu over here is what you're going to use the most. So I'm going to kind of get into that. I'm going to start with design. That design menu kind of takes you back to those template options again. You can also look at different layouts and styles that you can choose from that design menu. But really, it's going to kind of take you back to all those different templates that they have within presentations. I already have one chosen, so I don't really need that, but I could add in slides from another template too if I like it, or change this one around. Elements, I think, is the menu option that I use most often. So elements is where I'm going to be able to add in graphics, photos, videos, shapes, frames, all kinds of different really cool graphic design elements to my presentation. So let's say that I want to add a teacher here. When I search it, I'm going to get the option to look at the graphic versions, photo versions, video versions. I'm going to look at the graphics, like that one. So I'm going to add that teacher in. Usually with most graphics in Canva, it's really easy to change colors. Some of them are set where you can't change them, but a lot of times it's really easy to go in and sort of change around those colors in your graphic. Another really cool thing to know about using graphics in Canva is, so let's say that we really like her. We just like the look of it, the way she's illustrated. And so I want to kind of make sure that the other graphics I'm adding in kind of align with that. One thing I can do is I can click more here. I can click that ellipsis menu and go down to info. And I get this option to view more by sparkle stroke by that illustrator that created that graphic. And so with that, it's going to bring up more graphics like that one over here for me. I can even search within that particular creator. So if I want a student as well. So these are all students that were created by that particular illustrator, graphic designer. So there's a student who kind of along the same lines as far as the artistry kind of matches with her. So that's another cool thing that you can do within those elements and within graphics. Also, when you're searching in elements for something particular, you can use your filters up here to filter down. Like if I am looking for pictures that fall more in the color green, or if I only want animated pictures, I can do that to kind of narrow down what it's showing for me. So that's another cool thing that you can do. All right, I'm going down to text. You can just add your basic text box to any slide. If you have your brand font built in, that's going to pop up for you here. I also really like these font combinations that you can choose from down here. You can also you can search for maybe a particular type of font in that search box, and it's going to pull that up for you. If you had a brand kit created, this is where you're going to go to access all those elements. Uploads, if you're wanting to add in your own photos, your own videos, or audio, this is where you can choose upload files and upload them from your computer. Uploads is also where you can record yourself, and I'm not going to talk a lot about that today because we'll talk about that more in the next session, because recording is such a great option for students as well. But record is where you would go to do that. You can create screen recordings or audio recordings in Canva very easily. There's a draw section here if you're wanting to illustrate something for students on the slide. You can utilize that. Projects is where you can pull up previous projects if you want to pull anything into your presentation from a previous project. And then apps. There are lots of other applications that work alongside Canva that you can pull in and utilize. Now, under this Discover tab, you can find all different types of apps that do all kinds of things. You can spend all day kind of searching through all these cool apps that you have access to here. For me, I think the most beneficial one is probably that YouTube app. It allows you to search for a video and easily add those YouTube videos into your Canva presentation. So if I need a little math warm up, you can add that in right there. Okay, I was also going to show you some really cool shortcuts that can come in handy sometimes within Canva. So I'm going to go over to this page. Let's say that you're wanting to do something kind of like we talked about before. Maybe you're going to have your students working collaboratively, or maybe a small group is going to work on a page like this, and they're creating a visual for an expression for you on this page, or you want them to type out a story problem or something on this page, and you're going to share it with them for them to work on. You can add sticky notes really easily, just like we talked about on the whiteboard, by just clicking the letter S. So there are lots of keyboard shortcuts that will let you do things easily in Canva. So again, S is a sticky. You can do C to quickly add a circle. R will add a rectangle or a square. L is a line. So that's just some quick shortcuts that you can add in. I wanted to show you just a few of my favorite features within Canva, just as far as different editing and features to help you better organize your presentation. So one thing that's really good to know how to do is to play with the layering. So there are lots of times where you put something, on your presentation, and you're like, oh, that hides part of that. I really wanted that to come to the front. So when you click on any object on your presentation and choose that more option, you can easily just kind of layer this way and choose to bring forward or send backwards. But another really easy way to do that is by choosing position here. I can still use the forward backward option, or I can choose some different alignment options. But if I click on this layer tab, it's going to show me absolutely everything on this page, and I can choose what I want to be in front and what I want to be behind. I can get it in exactly the order that I want. So like if I put this guy up here, it's going to send that green box, on top of everything. I probably don't want that. So that's how you can play with your layering. Another great thing to know how to do is just kind of use some of the image editing options. So I'm going to go to this slide. Let's say that I really like this table, but I really don't want the stuff to be on top of it. I want it to just be like a blank desk. So I can use this crop option. Click crop, drag that down. And now I have just a blank empty desk. Maybe I want to bring our teacher over there too and have her sitting behind the desk. When I click on her, I can choose this duplicate. You can do that with any element. You can duplicate any element on any page. And then after you've duplicated it, You can easily just grab and drag it down to the slide you want it to be on. It'll go down there. So let's use the crop with her too and put her behind the desk. All right, so now we've got her kind of sitting behind there. Maybe we think it would look better if she was flipped. We can flip her this way. Another cool thing that you can do is group items. So if I click on the teacher, I hold my shift key down and then I click on the desk. Now I'm going to get the option to group those two items together. So when I group them together, now they're going to move together, or I can ungroup them if I don't want it to be like that anymore. I know we've kind of got graphics going on with this one, so it doesn't make just a ton of sense with this presentation, but Canva has a great background remover. So let's search for a teacher. That's going to be more used with your actual photos. So let's add in this teacher. They have it built in now. Up here we can just click background remover and take that out. You used to have to go to edit first and then remove the background. And now have her with no background behind her. So the last things that I was going to talk to you about are sharing and then some cool things that you can do when you're in presentation mode. So when you're ready to share your presentation or anything you've created in Canva with someone else, one thing you can do is you can come over and click this plus sign. You can add someone in with their email address here. Also, if you're wanting to just change the share settings within this particular team, I can set it so that anyone within the team can edit, can comment, or can view. Another way, and for me, I don't know why, it just seems like the easiest way to me, so I end up usually doing it, is I can click share. I can go down here and you have to make sure you're set on anyone with the link. I think when you first start a presentation, it's going to be set so only you can access. But when you're ready, I can click anyone with the link and choose whether they can edit, comment, or view. I can copy that link and then now I'm ready to share that with someone else so they can also work on it. Now, if you're wanting to be able to share something with someone so that they can work in their own copy of it, but you don't want them to edit your copy, you're kind of thinking like the force copy option with Google. The way you can do that with Canva, usually you have to click see all to see this option. So click those three dots and then you're going to choose that template link. And the template link is going to give you the option to share it with them and it will make them create their own copy. So they'll be able to edit this themselves, but it will be their own copy of the presentation. The public view link is also really helpful too when you're wanting to share this so that it's viewable but cannot be edited. So if you choose that, you can click to create that public view link, share that, and it's just going to bring the presentation up when it's clicked so that they can see it. They can click through it. They can click and play videos, all that kind of stuff, but they will not be able to edit the presentation. Okay, so let's say that you are ready to present to your students. So I'm going to click present. We're going to present in full screen, and then I'm going to choose that present button. All right. So while you have your presentation up, there's a few cool things that you can do. So let's say that you are going to have students collaborate for a little bit on this page and you want to use a timer. When you're in presentation mode, you can click any number from 0 to 9 and it's going to magically set a timer for you. So let's say I need 5 minutes and I want to start that timer for my students. You can also adjust the volume of how loud it's going to be when the timer goes off. And they've also added where you can set music for your timer. Some other cool things that you can do are there are keyboard shortcuts that you can use in presentation mode that make different cool things appear on the screen. So I'm going to press the U key, just the letter U, and that's going to set the unveil shortcut. So my curtains come up and now I'm going to go to the next screen. And it will unveil. And these are some examples of some of the different keyboard shortcuts that you can use. So B will blur the screen for you. B is your drum roll. B's bubbles. Oh, not B. O is bubbles. We already did the unveil option. C for confetti. M for a mic drop. And Q for quiet. And we already talked about that 0 to 9 timer. All right, well, that covered just about everything that I wanted to share with you guys today, just in our getting started and our tour of Canva. One last thing that I did want to make sure that you know that you can do is, let's go back to the home page for a quick second. When you click that create a design, one other thing that you can do in Canva that is really cool is you can upload a PDF into Canva, and it is going to allow you to edit that PDF, which, as I'm sure you know, editing PDFs can be really tough. And a lot of times, PDF editors kind of change up the fonts and things. In Canva, it's not really going to do that. It's going to make it really easy to edit. So just to kind of show a quick example, I'm going to upload a PDF that I created here, and we'll open it up in the Canva editor so you can see. So I've opened it back up here, and it's going to go ahead and start separating out these PDF elements for me so I can actually edit that PDF within Canva. So if you ever find yourself needing to do that, that's a great place to do it. All right, guys, I hope that you got a little bit out of of the session today. Don't forget to use the bit.ly here to access the help guide. That's going to allow you to come back to these links. I have those shortcuts linked in, as well as some links to the Canva Help Center on those different topics that we talked about. And you also have the video to go back and reference if you need to revisit any of the things we talked about. All right, so next session will be October 22nd, and we will be talking about connecting your students and using some great startup templates to get your students going in Canva. So I hope to see you guys there. Thanks.